Something big is happening across America, and most people aren't seeing it. While everyone's focused on flashy AI announcements and new gadgets, a quiet transformation is taking place behind the scenes, a push to rebuild America's entire tech foundation from the ground up. We're talking about massive new factories, chip plants, robotics labs, and clean energy tech hubs, popping up not in Silicon Valley but in places like Ohio, Arizona, Texas, and North Carolina. This is the real tech revolution, the one that will decide whether the United States stays the global leader in innovation or falls behind. Let's unpack how America is quietly rebuilding its tech future and why this movement could shape the next 50 years. To understand this shift, you have to go back a few years. The pandemic, trade wars, and global chip shortages exposed a painful truth. The US had become too dependent on foreign manufacturing. Most of the world's most advanced semiconductors, the brains inside every phone, laptop, and car, were made overseas, especially in Taiwan. So when those supply chains broke, everything from cars to gaming consoles to medical equipment got delayed. It was a wake-up call, and Washington heard it loud and clear. That's when the government passed the CHIPS and Science Act, a $52 billion program to bring semiconductor manufacturing back to U.S. soil. But it didn't stop there. That bill kicked off a chain reaction, what some are calling the new American Industrial Revolution. Since then, major tech companies have pledged over $600 billion to build advanced manufacturing, AI infrastructure, and clean technology hubs in the U.S. Here's what that looks like on the ground. Intel is building a $100 billion Silicon Heartland in Ohio, a mega campus of chip factories that will employ thousands. TSMC, the world's leading chip maker, is building not one but two state-of-the-art fabs in Arizona, with more planned. Samsung is investing $40 billion in new plants in Texas, making it a serious rival to Asia's chip dominance. Micron is pouring billions into New York for memory chip production. NVIDIA, Apple, and Amazon are all investing in advanced AI data centers across the country. This isn't about moving manufacturing back to the 20th century, it's about building 21st century manufacturing. And these new factories don't look like the old ones. They're run by robots, powered by AI, and designed to be smart. A modern chip plant, for example, operates in ultra-clean rooms where machines, not humans, handle 90% of the process. AI systems monitor temperature, humidity, and precision at the atomic level. Every step is automated, networked, and optimized. In other words, these aren't your grandfather's factories. They're high-tech ecosystems, combining artificial intelligence, robotics, and clean energy. But why is this happening now? 3 reasons: competition, security, and opportunity. Competition: China and Europe are investing heavily in their own tech manufacturing. The US doesn't want to be left behind in the race for technological dominance. Security: chips power everything, from smartphones to fighter jets. America wants to ensure its most critical technologies aren't dependent on overseas supply chains. Opportunity: building at home creates jobs, stabilizes supply, and sparks innovation. Every new chip factory brings dozens of supporting industries, from construction and engineering to software and logistics. It's not just about making chips, it's about building an entire tech ecosystem. This new wave of innovation is already reshaping entire regions. Take Phoenix, Arizona, once known for its desert heat, now dubbed the Silicon Desert. With TSMC and Intel expanding there, it's attracting engineers, startups, and billions in new investments. Columbus, Ohio, once a quiet Midwest city, is now home to the largest chip manufacturing site in the Western Hemisphere. New schools, housing, and tech training centers are popping up everywhere to support it. And in Texas, Samsung's new chip plant near Austin is fueling a surge of tech growth, with Tesla, Dell, and dozens of startups joining the ecosystem. America's next tech boom isn't in San Francisco anymore, it's spreading across the map. Here's the part that most people don't realize. This new industrial revolution is also green. These factories are being built to run on renewable power. Intel's Ohio facility will use 100% green energy, Micron's new New York plant will recycle nearly all of its water, and Amazon's AI data centers are now pairing up with massive solar and wind farms to keep the grid balanced. Clean manufacturing isn't just a talking point anymore, it's becoming a competitive advantage. Because in the next era of tech, the world's most powerful products won't just be smart, they'll be sustainable. But this movement isn't without challenges. Building high-tech manufacturing in the US costs a lot more than doing it overseas. Skilled labor shortages, permitting delays, and supply chain hurdles have already slowed some projects. TSMC's Arizona plant faced delays because of worker shortages and training gaps. Intel's Ohio site has also had to import specialized equipment and expertise from Asia. The US is learning that rebuilding industrial capacity after decades of outsourcing isn't easy, but it's possible. And with every new factory that opens, that knowledge base grows stronger. This quiet push is about something bigger than chips or AI. It's about independence. For years, the US built its tech dreams on designs made here but manufactured abroad. Now it's bringing the brains and the brawn back together. It's about controlling its destiny in an era when technology defines everything, from military power to economic growth to innovation itself. The world's next big breakthroughs in quantum computing, biotechnology, and artificial intelligence will depend on who controls the tools that make those technologies possible. And the US wants to make sure those tools are made on its own soil. So while the spotlight shines on AI apps and flashy gadgets, the real story is happening quietly, in construction zones, labs, and clean rooms across America. A new tech infrastructure is rising, one built on silicon, steel, and ambition. And this time, it's not just about building products, it's about building the future.